Bienvenidos to Cafecito with Rosie, another episode where I'm showing and sharing with you leaderships with a servant heart. And today I am honored to invite my really good friend, Dr. Kelly Baez. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, Rosie. So good to see you. Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do? How you help the community? And how long have you been doing it for?
Awesome. So then, again, I'm Dr. Kelly Baez. I'm with Tampa Bay Physical Therapy, which is a mobile physical therapy concierge service, which simply put means that I go to people's homes, offices, or gyms, so they don't have to travel, and I do membership packages. But I will help people submit to their insurance as well. So we can get more into that later. But I do the full spectrum, meaning all the way from little babies that we see out there that kind of have the helmets or had a rough birth or developmental delays, all the way to athletes, elderly individuals. It's multidisciplinary. So I believe in education. I do pelvic floor therapy as well. So that's male and female as well. And then any type of balance concussion disorders or vertigo. Again, like I said, any type of regular orthopedic or neurological disorders. So stroke, spinal cord, MS, you name it. I basically treat the whole system.
Awesome. And tell me a little bit. So you are married to your wonderful husband. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about your children, your life. How long have you been together?
So then we've been together for almost 16 years now. And we have a son who's 14 years old.
Joelito.
Yes, Joelito. So my husband's name is Joel, hence the reason my son is Joelito. My husband is Dominican, so I'm also bilingual. So I speak Spanish, English, yo hablo español. So me encanta ayudar a toda la comunidad. So I really love helping the entire community.
Awesome. And I met Dr. Kelly because I was part of Power Gals. Yay, Power Gals. Hello, Carlita. And she had her first meeting we were downstairs and she had her office in the second floor. And then she came into the meeting, introduced herself, told us about what she's doing. At that time, she had the office. And then we all went upstairs and got a tour of the office. But you now are a mobile services. And the reason being, too, is because a lot of things have changed. One of the things when you are a leader with a servant heart is you need to understand what is it that your purpose is, what you bring to the table, and what is it that you can provide your clients with. And for Dr. Kelly, when she started thinking about, okay, these people have to drive to my office.
Yes.
These people had to take out of work to come into my office. When you add all that together, she was saying, well, I'm one person. So if I go to them instead of they all coming to me, it will help everybody and it will help with the overhead too for her. So those were things that you as a leader with a servant heart made those decisions and realized that at this point, yes, it's a little different way. It's not the traditional way of providing services, but now you get that personalized doctor that is not in a group of 1,000 people or, 3-4 people and you go there and you're just a number. This is a plan that is tailored for you, created by Dr. Kelly.
Exactly. And it's all one-on-one and I do 1-hour sessions. So the purpose of it, as you said, is to treat someone like a person and an individual and not a number. Nobody's a number and everybody's different. And it's very important when we're trying to help commit to someone's health that we want them to reach their quality of life and their optimal goals. And all those can be different. It can be playing with your grandchildren. It could be going out running a triathlon. Whatever your goal is, I want to help you meet it. And that's really my passion. Eventually, I want to do a nonprofit organization as well, as Rosie knows, because as I joke, I did not take an oath solely to help the affluent. That wasn't what it was. Right. It really was about removing red tape issues like prior authorizations and other things that people encounter that delay their health care. So it was about that servant heart.
And I share this, so nobody likes to talk about insurance. Like, we don't know that, right? Like, people do not like to talk about insurance. But when you get sick, you want the insurance to work. So my job is to say, okay, listen, you don't have to know the ins and outs of the insurance, But if anything happens, this is what we need to do. So like Dr. Kelly is saying, there is ways around it where I think a lot of way of receiving insurance, receiving care, quality, access to quality care is changing because our industry in the whole healthcare, it's already changing as it is. And it's very little by little, but you will start seeing many, many changes. And it's up to us as advocate of our own health to make sure that we talk about the things that we want and we don't want.
It is. And it's really about collaboration. It's the concept and the idea of, I appreciate what Rosie does because she helps educate people on their insurance. Because the reality was, it was created for people who are having health issues or are having disabilities. The only reason that some of those other red tape issues began was because there were some individuals who made some poor decisions.
Yes.
And so now what we do is we work together. She helps people find plans that work for them. And I find ways of creating quality care and working within that scope.
Yes. And see, and this is the other thing. She talks about collaboration. So tell me a little bit about where were you coming from and why physical therapy, because I mean, it is a niche, I would say, industry. Not everybody does. Before I met you, physical therapy for me was just a place that you went and everybody went in there. So a personalized physical therapy was new. So tell me where did that came from?
So the reason that it started was, I was passionate in general about education. I did that for over 10 years. I worked with children. And then after those 10 years, what I did was I said, I also really love health and I'm super passionate about that. I want to give back even more to the community, not just the children, which are our future, but our entire population. So that was when I went back to school and went all the way towards getting my doctorate. And then I did work for a while briefly over at Medicare, which I really enjoyed. And that's where I really honed in on my skills with all my different specialties. And then after that, what I decided for me personally was that I really wanted to strike out and make a difference and let people know what physical therapy is really about. It's about quality of life. And that's why I focus so much on that, is because just as insurance has had its own shift, physical therapy has changed over the years. And, the reality is I want us to get back to the basics, which is we want to help people. We are here for you.
Yes. And let me tell you a story too. So again, with my menopause, which I'm not going to say because I don't take it, you develop something that is called frozen shoulder. So for some odd reason, my shoulder one day did not work and I couldn't fix my hair. So again, end up to the physical therapy. They did my assessment. And it was so painful that I have to go do it because I usually don't, right? People leave the doctor forever. Because if it doesn't hurt, don't fix it, right? But this thing was really bothering me with my activity of dating living, which it was holding my hair. So the lady asked me, well, how much of it do you want it to make it to work? And I said, what do you mean? What percentage? And I said, well, I want it to go back and work the regular way. It's my shoulder. I don't want a 95%, 96%. I want it to work again. But that is the approach that physical therapist is. How much of that do you, and what Dr. Kelly is telling you here is that she will put you back into where your life is going back to the normal way that you used to have before the injury or the frozen shoulder happens. Because again, you don't want to change your lifestyle.
Right. Exactly. And the reality is it should always be aiming for optimal. That is what we should always be aiming for. Yes, people have surgeries. We have to understand, how the surgeons put things back together. But the end of the day is we should be pushing to help you reach your goals, what matters to you. And unless it is something, heaven forbid, very catastrophic.
Right.
You should be able to get back to where you were before. And even if it is something catastrophic, it is not the end. Literally, it is the beginning, and it is my job and my true passion to help you re-achieve that independence again.
Good. So, and let's talk about another thing that I'm actually struggling with right now, which is vertigo.
Yes.
So, vertigo is a very debilitating, I mean, depending on what it is, some of them are really mild, but mine has been very, very severe. Where if I'm looking at something and I hear my tinnitus
Yes.
in the ear, that's how it starts. And it becomes really, really loud because my heart is pumping and now it's in my ear. And then suddenly the room spins terribly. And no matter what I do, I cannot make it stop. So this is something that Kelly can help you with because again, it is stopping me from having a normal life. So tell me a little bit about vertigo. Where does it come from and how physical therapy can help that?
That's perfect. So then, yes, and thank you for sharing your stories. I really appreciate it. So the concept is that there's little stones inside of our ears. These little stones inside our ears help us understand where we are in space. And if we fall, we can hit our head, or sometimes we have bad allergies or a virus, and all these different factors can cause those stones to shift. When those shift out of place, that's when people experience the spinning. And it can be very discouraging. There can be a lot of different symptoms, nausea, anxiety, just different things that people can experience. But what I'm able to do is diagnose where it's at specifically, because there's 3 different canals, so I can diagnose which one it is. And based off of that, I can do a very general, basic, and easy maneuver. Nothing scary, no big quick crack, but that maneuver helps put the stones back in place. And then very often, at least within 24 hours, or sometimes even sooner, you will feel better and be able to go back to living your life.
To your normal life, yes. Because again, these are things that with the physical therapy, it's going to help you continue to live the life that we are used to living, right? Because these things interrupt the lifestyle. Like for example, for me, it's starting, and now I having to pay attention. The last few times that I had it is because I have big presentations, big events. So I guess in my mind, again, I don't know what stress is, because for me, I just go. But I guess I knew I had this presentation, so my body was feeling the stress of that. And I was able to manage it, but I guess it's triggering some of this anxiety of having to do a presentation of that. But thank you, because again, you use the Epsom maneuver, I think is what it's called.
Yes. So it's the Epsom maneuver, exactly, but there's many different types. There's the Samant maneuver, there's the barbecue roll. It all depends on where it's located at and how stuck those stones are.
Yes, and again, I don't wish it to my worst enemy. It's really terrible. So if anything happens and vertigo is something that you struggle with, where they can reach you?
Okay, so one of the places you can reach me at is obviously my business line goes right to my cell phone, actually. So it's 813-771-0777. Or you can actually go to the website as well, which is tampabaypt.health. Those are very good access points.
Perfect. And now, you also, one of the things that I always admire about you is that you collaborate a lot with many other women, because I do understand that we women, again, there's so many things we have to go through. There's enough for everybody. But if we are catty with each other and fighting towards each other, then we're really not elevating and empowering and encouraging women. And that's why you and I get along so well, because I do feel that we do that. We are here to support, to encourage each other. So I know that that's very, very, very big. It's a big part of your business and the networkings that you do. Why do you think that's important?
It's important to me because I feel like that's the only way that we're really going to be able to make a difference in the world. If we're all fighting and we're all talking about ego and getting in each other's way, nothing is ever going to be able to be resolved. The reality is we all have how we grew up, our own belief systems, what we're passionate about. But if we work together, we are able to really make a difference.
Yes. And now you have some event that's coming up recently, soon. So tell me a little bit about that and where did that came about, and just What's gonna happen there?
That's perfect. So it is called the Medalex Alliance event. It's on April 18th over at the Tampa Club. And the purpose of that event actually is to get together a variety of medical professionals, both that are Western, Eastern, it doesn't matter, it can be holistic, chiropractic, whatnot, but also the industries that serve that, like digital marketing, insurance. So get us all in one place so that we can really talk about what is happening in healthcare and how can we help each other.
Yeah.
That's what the event's about.
So one of the things, and again, is that advocacy, right? One thing is, yes, we are professional in our business, but I always tell people, and by the way, I want to put a plug for my book, Ñeque, The Mindset to Get What You Want. And the reason why I put a plug in this is because while we are doing our business and running our business, there are laws that they're being passed that indirectly or directly affect our business. And those laws can shut us down or can make us successful. So by bringing everybody out and all this profession together, you also foster the public policy aspect of owning a business. We're not talking about politics. We're not talking about left and right. What we're talking about is public policy. That in this country, which is the American dream, where we come for the economic prosperity that we were not able to have in our countries, the one thing that allows this to happen is public policy. And we need to have that knowledge, what I call institutional knowledge. Now, you don't have to know everything because, again, not even our elected officials, and love them to death, but not even our elected officials really have all the knowledge needed to do what they do. They actually rely on constituents like us that we elect them to represent us, to tell them what are we struggling for. So by you presenting the foster and bringing everyone together, you're able to share stories that perhaps, other ways you will not know what was affecting them or their business.
That's exactly it, because I call myself a piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I am not the full puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to mention it's from 5:30 to 8:30. I apologize. 5:30 to 8:30. But I am simply that. And if we can collectively take all of our expertise and those little pieces, imagine the beauty we could create.
Exactly. See, there's one thing, and I remember and it's just, this is the Rosie version, but when it doesn't matter who gets the credit, a lot of things get done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, it's like, if you go there with the ego of what I can get, I'm doing this. But when nobody gets the credit, but we all working together and we all benefit out of it, things get done faster that will benefit a lot of us. So I know we have a friend in common that I'm really happy about, and that's Alexis Quintal.
Yes.
And she's working with you. So tell me a little bit about how exciting it has been to be working and all the things that she's been doing for you.
So what I really like about Alexis is she understands my mission, just like you do. She understands what it is that I'm trying to create and how I can get across that message most effectively. So she does PR and she does marketing, and that's really where she shines. She, again, either helps you create an event where you can go ahead and talk about how you work with others, or she introduces you to those who can help you create more of what you're trying to do. They have their own events. And like I said, she's just a very like-minded individual in the fact that she wants us to all collaborate together. So I just enjoy it.
And this is the thing. So as a business owner, part of the personality of your business is your brand. So you, the person who you are, is the brand also of your business. And what she helps you do is kind of merge all that together and then get that right message. Because I remember when I started in business, I walked into this group of a lot of older gentlemen, not saying anything wrong, but they were white, very tall. It was so funny because I was very short, but older gentlemen doing insurance, and nobody had like the personality. So here I walk all full of energy with all my colors and stuff like that. And it's like, can I help you? And I said, well, I'm here to learn about insurance. And realized that if I presented my brand and who I was, there was going to be that paying tribal people that wanted to do business with Rosie because they and they trust Rosie. And that's when I changed the industry, and I said I was one of those pioneers of my industry because now 20 years later, many agencies, brokerage agencies that help people with Medicare options are owned by Hispanic women and minorities. So needless to say, it's just a way of taking your, I would say, difference, your uniqueness, what I call your uniqueness, and make it yours. Put it out there as authentic as you can be, and that attracts the tribe that is going. Oh, not attract the tribe that is going to come and do business with you because they trust you, and again, they want to do business with you.
Agreed. I think that trust and building those relationships, again, just gets back to what we're talking about. It's so significant. I mean, when Rosie and I met in Power Gals, her energy was just so absolutely contagious. And for a woman who is really trying to make a difference and just starting out on her own, which it is a joint venture, my husband's CFO and I'm CEO. And he's, like I said, he's Dominican, he's Hispanic, and just trying to come together, cultivate a true way of serving all of the community and all those that need it. And we needed someone like Rosie to help us on that start to the journey.
Right. And it's the connection and also that little push. I always tell people it's like my sphere. Once you're in my Rosie's sphere or my gravitated pull, you're not going to be able to get out of it. So raise your hands, enjoy the ride because I'm going to drag you even if you don't want to, right? Because I love helping people. That is what makes me my why. That's what makes me unique. And that's why I have amazing people like you, Kelly, that come over and days notice 24 hours, 48 hours. And I said, Kelly, can you come over and be a guest on my show? Because again, I get to experience amazing people that are authentic, that they are helping the community, and then they making a change. And then the other thing is that let's give a little hello to the amazing Tampa Club.
Yes.
We love the Tampa Club, Tim. You're amazing.
Yes. It's perfect.
We met. So tell me about, I introduced you to that, and I know. Tell me, what is the most important? What is the most favorite place of you in the Tampa Club?
Okay, so what I really enjoy about the Tampa Club, one is the view is absolutely gorgeous. You can see all of Tampa, all across. I mean, there's just nothing like it. But again, there's quality relationships that you're building there as well. I was fortunate enough, like I said, to have met Rosie. Rosie and her wonderful husband, Scott, introduced me to the Tampa Club. And from there, I mean, they've only done further renovations and it's just a great place to entertain different clientele, but also it's very family oriented.
Right. Yes.
So it's just a wonderful place to connect.
It's a little bit of everything. I think the slogan, which my friend Fabricio, hello, Fab, he mentioned, the Tampa Club is when members become friends and friends become family. Because the reality is that's what happens at the club. There is business going on. And again, it is on the 42nd floor of the Bank of America. So the tallest building in Tampa. It's the first open terrace that we have. And they're actually opening the second terrace too. So if you are not aware of that, they're also trying to get that one open. And yes, there is no other place like that. And I do want to give Tim Jared the little plug because they actually did all those renovations, but a lot of people do not know, right before COVID. So 3 months after the renovation is when COVID happened. They had already spent $1 million and something on that, and now they had to close the club. Okay? And nobody was able to go there. So my husband and I did this co-op thing that once a week we will go there and get food, and then once we got that food, and you know how happy it was that as a gift for us, they will give us toilet paper.
That's amazing.
But they knew we actually did not have to fight over toilet paper because our friends at the Tampa Club, once we did our co-op, as a little gift, told me, here you go, some toilet paper. So again, it's just amazing of the things, the quality of relationships that you get to meet Now, they also have a reciprocal membership, so you can go to other clubs in other locations. And I tell a little story. I went to Tallahassee, and somebody says, "Oh, where would you like to go to lunch?" And over there is the Governor's Club, which they have a reciprocal membership. And I said, "Would you like to go to the Governor's Club?" And I said, "Well, it takes a long time. It takes somebody that you know." "Oh, don't worry, I'll get there." So I took my friends to the Governor's Club in Tallahassee. So hello, the Governor's Club in Tallahassee. Thank you for taking so good care of me. But that was because of the Tampa Club.
Yeah.
So again, these relationships last a lifetime, and it's because you and I get to know each other, and we build this kind of connections between what we struggle and what we go through. And talking about struggle, I know we have just a few more minutes, but what was the one thing perhaps that was I guess at one point very scary to you, but that you overcame and you say, "You know what, now I have empathy, I know how to do this, and I can help others overcome that"?
It's so interesting you mentioned that. So really what it was about was I had already gone through getting my doctorate, and that alone was really challenging. I was a mother to a young son with our husband. We are newlyweds, so already trying to go through school and managing that and managing finances is already a lot. I graduate and I went to go work for Medicare, like I said, which I still fully support and say that they're a good industry, to be clear. But I will simply say that after having worked there for a year and working for, pretty well, doing over 14 different new patients, doing all these different specialties, translating, staying after hours, doing all kinds of things that, new practitioners do to learn. I was told that by a certain individual, that I was nothing more than an ibuprofen, that I was simply written on a piece of paper. And that was really, really interesting to me because I did not study all the hours that I did, stay away from my son and my husband for the amount of time that I did, to make the difference that I do in the community, to be told I was nothing more than an ibuprofen. And to this day, that is why I went out with my husband, who also believes in me, and we created our own business so that I can literally say, I am more than an ibuprofen. I represent an entire profession that I fully plan on demonstrating our quality care and what we are dedicated to and how we're dedicated.
Yes. And see, that is amazing for us to close, because let me tell you, friends and followers and people that are watching, people have to put you in their little box, okay? Because they have to make sense of your uniqueness. And what you need to do is own your uniqueness, embrace that, and be you, because nobody else can be you. Only you were created to fulfill that purpose that you have to fulfill. With that, thank you so much, Kelly, for coming
Rosie,
here today. I love you. And my friends, thank you for joining us again. Cafecito with Rosie. Ciao.
Thank you.
See you
Gracias.
next time.